The T20 World Cup 2022 is nearing the business end. Every team has played more than 2 matches in the group. In the case of Group 1, that has Australia, England, New Zealand, Sri Lanka, they are all going to play their 3rd game today. We all saw that the Ireland-Afghanistan match was abandoned at Melbourne due to rain. Australia-England is facing a similar threat at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Tomorrow, when New Zealand take on Sri Lanka at the Sydney Cricket Ground, we will know what is the current position when it comes to Group 1. Which teams are in pole position, because every team in that group, they have gotten scrambled when it comes to the race for the semi-finals. However, in Group 2, the situation is very much sorted out when it comes to India, South Africa, Pakistan, Zimbabwe, and to a certain extent, very faint margin even for Bangladesh. So in this video, I will tell you what each team in Group 2, which features India, Pakistan, South Africa, Zimbabwe, have to do in order to seal their spot in the semi-finals. How can each team still qualify now? Because mathematically, 5 teams still have a chance. So as I said, cursory glance at the points table, India are on top with 4 points with plus 1.425 as a net run rate. South Africa are second with 3 points, but look at that net run rate, 5.2, which is massive. Zimbabwe, they were the team that has turned the entire table topsy-turvy because of that 1-run win that they had against Pakistan. So Zimbabwe are yet to lose a game and are on 3 points with 0.05 NRR. That 1 point that they got against South Africa and Hobart could potentially help them in the race for the semi-finals. Bangladesh, on the other hand, although they have won against the Netherlands, their upcoming encounters are not going to be that easy at all. Minus 0.050 is the net run rate of Pakistan, who are now facing a massive do and die situation because 2 narrow losses and their campaign might be all but over. Netherlands, on the other hand, they may want to spoil some of the fun, but I think they're the only team now virtually that looks like they may not be able to make it to the semi-final race. So India's win against the Netherlands as well as against Pakistan has put them in a great position for the semi-finals. Their next 3 fixtures, day after tomorrow, is a massive one against South Africa at Perth. If they win that, they are through to the semi-finals, but in order to seal the top spot, I will give you the permutations later. So South Africa on October 30th, Bangladesh on November 2 at Adelaide, and Zimbabwe on November 6th at the MCG. These are the 3 games that is there for India. What they need to do for the semis? India, they will virtually assure themselves of a spot in the semi-final if they win 2 out of the 3 games. If they win against South Africa, they are all but through. But if they win their next game, which is against Bangladesh or against Zimbabwe, they will seal their spot in the semi-finals. But if they want to top the group, they have to win all their 3 games. It's as simple as that. A win against South Africa will virtually knock Pakistan out of the tournament because India will get to 6 points. Pakistan can only get to 6 points. South Africa have a chance to get to 7. So does Zimbabwe. So if India wins against South Africa tomorrow, on day after tomorrow, then Pakistan's chances are all but over. They will have to depend on a whole lot of other results to ensure they get through to the semis. Pakistan, they only have themselves to blame for the situation that they are in because last over loss, a no ball, a wide, now it looks to be very, very important, that loss against India. But against Zimbabwe, 3 moments changed the course of the match. In the last over, a catch was dropped and Brad Evans ensured that they got to 130. Craig Irwin in the final over put in a brilliant fielding effort which saved 1 run. And Shaheen Shah Afridi, because he was not quick enough, despite a fumble by Regis Chakabwa, Pakistan fell short by 1 run. This was only their 2nd loss in the T20 formats against Zimbabwe. But that loss now has put them in a massive predicament. Pakistan's next game are against Netherlands. Hopefully, They might win their first ever T20I in Australia on October 30th. But November 3 will not be easy for them. Against South Africa at the Sydney Cricket Ground, their chances will be hanging by a mere thread. Versus Bangladesh on November 6, that will be their final group game. And if all the results don't go their way, then Pakistan can exit the World Cup at a very early stage. So what is the equation now for Pakistan? Simple. They have to win all three. If Pakistan lose one more match, they are out. India has to lose all their games also. They have to ensure that if South Africa beats India, and hope that even Zimbabwe do them a favor. Zimbabwe have to win only one of their games and hope Bangladesh beats them. Pakistan's chances are hanging by a mere on the knife's edge. Bangladesh has to win one of their games to ensure that Pakistan get a faint chance. Zimbabwe must only win one. South Africa must win only one. And India has to lose all their remaining games. Then and only then Pakistan has a chance to go through to the semi-finals. Otherwise, if India wins, they're all but out. If South Africa wins two more games, they're out. Now, South Africa will be having some kind of redemption after their performance in Sydney because they were just 13 runs away with 4 overs to spare in Hobart against Zimbabwe. But the rain came and unfortunately their chances of taking 2 full points were ended. 1 point in that. So South Africa now face 2 major challenges. One against India on October 30th at Perth. Another against Pakistan at the Sydney Cricket Ground on November 3rd. Versus the Netherlands on November 6th in Adelaide. That will be their final group match. South Africa are in a better position because of their net run rate, which is plus 5.2. And because of that, their chances of reaching the semi-finals are brighter. What they must do? Simple. Win 2 out of 3 games and they're through. Because Pakistan can only get to 6 points. And if they win 2 out of their 3 games, they have to hope Pakistan does not win their remaining 3 games, which is also 1 against them. And they have to hope that even Zimbabwe win only 1 game. Zimbabwe, on the other hand, stand a great chance though, if some results go their way. Bangladesh. Now, their win against the Netherlands gave them a false sense of security that perhaps they are in contention, but actually they are not. Because they will face Zimbabwe on October 30th in Brisbane. Versus India on November 2 and versus Pakistan on November 6. So their journey as the T20 World Cup goes on becomes even more tougher. So minus 2.375, that is a big blow to their net run rate. They are the worst net run rate in that whole group. So Bangladesh, equation simple, have to win all their 3 remaining games by big margins. Because if they don't, net run rate will come into the equation. 1 loss and they are out. Simple fact. If Bangladesh loses to India's or Zimbabwe or against Pakistan, they cannot make it. Because one of the teams will get to 6 points, but their net run rate will be definitely higher. So either of South Africa, either of Zimbabwe will get more than 6 points. Either of India also, one more win, they'll get to 6 points. Zimbabwe. Now they have upset the entire points table. They have got 3 fixtures, but look at the 3 fixtures. One is against Bangladesh. That could put them on course for a semi-final because look, they are on 3 points. A win will give them 5 points. Versus the Netherlands on November 2 in Adelaide. Remember, they can win that also. So they can potentially get 7 points. Now, and India, their last league game will be at the MCG on November 6th. So if they can get to 7 points, what will happen? Zimbabwe need to win 2 of their remaining games. It's very, very simple. 2 out of 3 games they have to win so that they can get to 7 points. Now they will have to hope that South Africa lose their remaining 3 games. Because if Pakistan wins all their 3, they can only get to 6. That will be a problem for India. But if Zimbabwe can win 2 and 1 loss, and if Pakistan can beat South Africa, and South Africa also loses to India, then Zimbabwe stand a massive chance of making it to the semi-final. That will be a very, very fairy tale run. So the equation is simple. If India and Pakistan beat South Africa, then and Zimbabwe beats Bangladesh and Netherlands, Who knows? They can make it to the semi-final also. And they won't need that much of mathematical calculations to ensure that they seal their spot. So, Zimbabwe stand a good chance because of their fixtures against Bangladesh and against the Netherlands. If they lose to Bangladesh and win against Netherlands, they will have to win their final league game against India, which on current form of the Indian cricket team does not look very, very promising indeed. India have their tails up. They are in pole position to seal the top spot and also seal the semi-final spot. Simple, a win against South Africa and they are all but through to the semi-final. But if they lose their remaining 2 games and Pakistan win all 3, then there is a big problem. So India in good position, South Africa in good position, Zimbabwe are in a great position, Pakistan are on the edge, Bangladesh are all but out because of their 2 fixtures that they have coming up against India and Pakistan. So thank you so much folks for joining us for this live. We'll be back with more updates from sports today. Press the like, comment and share button. We are also there on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram folks. Bye-bye.